Yeah, no, I'm a horror buff. Are you into horror films?
Not huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch them, but yeah. I like them.
Yeah.
They kind of got a little out of hand recently with the Terrifier movies.
Oh my God, Terrifier takes things to a whole other level.
That's not horror, though.
It's just so gratuitous. It's gore.
It's gore.
Just gore.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
I won't do it.
No?
It's just...
You can't unsee the things you see.
Can't unsee it, but at the same time, is it more scary to not be able to unsee it, or more scary to be so desensitized to it that it doesn't bother you?
The desensitization is a thing that does happen to all of us with everything that's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because graphic violence used to be traumatizing, traumatic.
Yeah, rated R. Or
now you see somebody, on granted on Walking Dead, it's zombies, they're already dead, but still gory.
Yeah.
And I think that TV series did a lot for just, getting people desensitized.
Well, I love zombies. I mean, I've seen every George Romero movie, but George Romero's zombies were slow and dumb and lurking. They're still coming, but they're very persistent. They're coming. They're gonna get you. But
right.
It's not like they're running.
No, not like World War Z.
All that stuff. Oh, very, very fast.
This is the Rich Redmond Show.
We were recording last night, and the topic of planking came up. And I said, "Yeah, I'm kind of doing some planking and getting into shape and stuff like that."
Yeah.
And Kellie said, "Well, hey, how long can you go?" I said, man, at this point, I could probably do 60 seconds ago. And it was almost like a challenge kind of going down. And he says, "Yeah, you think you can do that?" I said, "Yeah, I probably could." And
you guys get them down on the floor and do it right there?
We did it after we finished in the next room, where at least we had some not wood floor. And it was Neil, myself, and Tully. Mm-hmm. And I lasted 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's great, Jim. Well, you are strong.
I even did the Rambo Rocky thing where I Tully was to my left.
Yeah.
And I was trying to, psychologically vibe him out in a way. And I went off, I'm like, "Hey, you good and everything?" I said, you look like you're struggling there. And I kind of got on my side. I said, "Give me a fist bump." And everybody in the room was like, "Whoa, look at Jim with the one-arm push-ups."
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we fist bumped. And
eventually
I said, I didn't, he beat me. He went 3 minutes, 10 seconds.
Hey, that's a long plank because, some people are trying to do the 5-minute plank.
Right.
But
for a guy that's my size and I'm getting into it, I'm not exactly, not freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger at this point.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
3-minute plank is amazing.
Oh, 2 minutes, 10.
Hey, is this the new thing where we kind of ease into it? We're like,
yeah, let's, rip down that fourth wall and just
let everybody in.
That's right.
Because we do have a great guest.
How are you? How have you been since yesterday?
Yeah. What has happened since yesterday?
Did you have a good burrito and a cigar?
I did go to the cigar bar last night, and I had one. And the gentleman that I was with, his lasted hours.
Yeah,
I mean hours. And mine.
Do you have a Casa Cuba?
I had like a Monte Cristo or something like that, which always makes me think of
Count Dracula.
No, Monte Cristo is that sandwich that you dip in the batter remember? It was like a ham sandwich and you would dip it in the batter, the Monte Cristo.
Looking at me, you should think that I know these things. I should know these things.
Hey, so Jimbo, this is the Rich Redmond Show. Always exciting because this is this new format. We're going to start rolling.
Wait a minute, is it?
Yeah. It is.
Is that what that says behind you?
It is the Rich Redmond Show. It's like, I want to get into this because this is like a celebration. We got a great drummer with us, hailing from Teutopolis. It sounds Greek, but he says it's German. Teutopolis, Illinois, calling Nashville home since 2000. He is a Grammy-nominated drummer. He's been gainfully employed for a very long time in Nashville. He played with Easton Corbin from 2017 to 2025. He was Kellie Pickler's MD and drummer from 2006 to 2017. He was with Aaron Tippin from 2003 to 2006. And currently, 7 years since 2018 as the adjunct percussion instructor at Lipscomb University. I'm talking about our friend Gregg Lohman. What's up, buddy?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, man. It's great to have you here.
Nice. Thanks for the applause.
Yeah. So you were telling me you live we're about an hour apart.
Yeah, north of town.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of a little rural area.
How long you been out there?
Since 2006.
Yeah.
Bought a house.
And she, it's the American dream. The drummer buys a house.
Yep. And the further out of town you get, the cheaper it gets.
Yes. And can you make all the noise and the neighbors are cool?
I can. Yep. Got a basement.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to have it's rare to find a basement in Nashville.
It is. Although I will say at the moment, my basement is cleared out because I had some water issues.
Oh.
So I do like the basement, but I don't like them right now.
Did you get flooded?
Yes, kind of a long story, but I had a leaky pipe that was leaking outside and going right back inside through the foundation. Got that fixed. And then a couple weeks ago, we got a bunch of rain, and the rainwater found its way in. So,
oh gosh,
yeah.
God, I hate that. I'm sorry.
So it's a basement in the truest sense of the word, that it's actually under the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm built on a slope, so the front of the house is
Into the
underground.
side of the hill.
And then the back is not.
I had one of those growing up. We had the greatest garage ever. And 2-car garage, but separated in the middle with a staircase, and we had rooms that went beyond that, like scary rooms when we were a kid.
Ooh.
But one of them we turned into an office and subsequently became my drum room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was awesome.
Speaking of scary and being kids, are you guys scared of dolls? Because I hate dolls.
Like what kind of, well, there depends on the doll.
I mean, like the girl dolls, they're like this, and they're in their little dresses with the pigtails and stuff. And the kids in the 60s, 70s would play with these dolls.
My daughter to this day has, she had a little toy when she was a baby, and she called it Baby Doll.
Yeah.
She still does to this day. She still has it.
Cute.
18 years. But that wasn't a creepy doll, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, at my grandmother's house, this doll would be there, and everybody knew I was deathly afraid of this thing. I mean, I hope that thing is just rotting in hell somewhere right now.
Where do you think the fear of clowns came from? Like everybody has this irrational fear of clowns. I'm going to say it came from the movie Poltergeist, because to your point about dolls, remember that scene where he's sitting in the bed and the clown doll is sitting in the chair
He's looking under the bed, and then it's behind him.
Right.
Oh! Dude.
That movie freaking traumatized me.
Oh,
It's interesting, that whole clown thing, because I've seen guys that are scared of them, and they won't have anything to do with it. They run the other way.
Yeah. And then Stephen King really took it to another level.
Yeah. But do you think do you think it originated from?
That's a good question. I feel like, I don't know.
I think people have always had an issue with clowns.
Yeah.
But clowns were, I didn't have an issue with them until that movie. And then he had Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but that was just campy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a horror buff. Are you into horror films?
Not huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch them, but yeah. I like them.
Yeah.
They kind of got a little out of hand recently with the Terrifier movies.
Oh my God, Terrifier takes things to a whole other level.
That's not horror, though.
It's just so gratuitous. It's gore.
It's gore.
Just gore.
Yeah. I didn't see that one.
I won't do it.
No.
It's just...
You can't unsee the things you see.
Can't unsee it, but at the same time, is it more scary to not be able to unsee it, or more scary to be so desensitized to it that it doesn't bother you?
The desensitization is a thing that does happen to all of us with everything that's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because graphic violence used to be traumatizing, traumatic.
Rated R. Or
now you see somebody, granted on Walking Dead, it's zombies, so they're already dead, but still gory.
Yeah.
And I think that TV series did a lot for just, getting people desensitized.
Well, I love zombies. I mean, I've seen every George Romero movie, but George Romero's zombies were slow and dumb and lurking. They're still coming. They're very persistent. They're coming. They're gonna get you. But
right.
It's not like they're running.
No, not like World War Z.
All that stuff. Oh, very, very fast. So I don't even know how this all happened.
Well, this is a great conversation.
Yeah, Jim likes to, my thing is I definitely want to have a free-flowing conversation, but I definitely want to make sure that we, people get some takeaways about what really makes Greg tick as a drummer. Like, we might be about the same age.
Yeah, you're probably a little older than me.
I think so. I'm older than everyone. I'm 5 years older than Jim.
You wouldn't know it.
It's crazy. Today, my physical therapist is 35 years old. I said, "Oh my God, we're 20 years apart. You could be my son." It was crazy, and he had gray hair.
Oh, wow.
This 35-year-old guy had gray hair. So when did you start playing? How old were you? And why? What was the spark?
Well, I did the whole pots and pans thing in the basement.
Got to do it.
You know, yeah. But I've always had a fascination with drumming, and so I just set up what I thought was a drum set and went at it. And then my aunt and uncle had an old kind of beat up kit, and they let me use it. So I set that up and started playing on it, not really knowing what I was doing. This is like, you know, I don't know how old I was, probably 6 or 7.
Do you remember the first beat you played?
I don't remember the first beat, but I do remember playing along to the Huey Lewis sports album.
Awesome.
Oh, really?
What a great...
Yes. And
Interesting.
still to this day, that's a great record.
It's
right?
an amazing record.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because there's a couple of songs on there that I believe have drum machine.
Yeah, or programmed. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the song is.
Jim's in a Huey Lewis tribute band.
Yeah.
And he's
Really?
playing the
Yeah.
City Winery
On May 28th.
on
Are you
May
really?
28th.
I am.
Yeah.
I'll have to go check it out.
Oh, no pressure for me, but you know.
Every drummer in town's going to be there because I've been announcing it on this
Nice.
podcast.
You know what was announced this morning?
What?
My entire B&I chapter, they're going to pay for those who want to go in terms of if people in the chapter.
They should go see you in a different light, man.
Yeah, because one of the other guys in the chapter is the guitar player.
That's right. He's a nice fella.
It's crazy.
That's great. Just, is it all Huey or a certain?
All Huey.
Okay.
And
wow.
there's a 12-minute piece that goes from a couple days off into Boys Are Back in Town, which is a flipping workout.
Yeah.
Wow.
12 minutes.
12-minute shuffle with a drum solo in the middle, right?
Yeah. But it's only like a 2-bar drum solo. I think.
2 bars?
Maybe 4-bar.
Got 3, 2, 4, 2. Gotta go. Shh.
Yeah. It's about the length. So I'm trying to plan what I'm going to do
Nice.
for that. Like a triplet double bass feel.
Yeah.
Because, a couple days off is like hot for teacher, but really slow.
Yes, actually, Josh Rosen, he does these like tribute shows from time to time. He did a Huey one, and I got to play on it.
Yeah.
This is last year, I believe. And I'm not a double bass guy by any means, but I borrowed one and worked up that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of guys do it. They do the right foot pattern.
Right. Yeah. I tried doing that, but it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I needed the. Yeah.
You either got to ride that floor tom on the
Yeah.
1, 2s, and 3s, or
I got to hear this track, man. Yeah. So it's just a slow.
Well, all I want is a couple days off.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
It's like Bill got a double pedal and he wanted to use it.
Right.
we like Bill?
And I asked him when we were talking to him, I said, were you kind of into Van Halen at that point? He's like, no. No.
We love Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the first band or the first drummer that you were like, dude, this is the thing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because Jim and I were MTV kids.
Yeah.
So my first band, and I still love them to this day, Def Leppard.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to ask, pre the arm or post the arm?
I guess it's probably Hysteria when I first
So that's when he
post arm.
That was post arm.
One arm.
Yeah, because Photograph is when he had both arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I obviously looked into him and saw the whole story and
Yeah.
But yeah, all the stuff before that I really liked too.
You gotta
But,
love the fact that they worked with him and they found a way over that hurdle.
They found a way to make it work.
Very sweet.
Can you imagine what was going through his head?
Your whole life flashes before your eyes.
Everything, everything you worked for, you're at the height of your fame and your success, and you lose your arm.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm done.
And then you have to retrain yourself to play.
Yeah.
With like 9 pedals.
Yeah.
I have no idea how he does it. Have you ever tried to play the snare part with your foot?
No, that's hard, man.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
He's great. I meet him a couple times and super nice guy.
Seems like a very approachable cat. Yeah.
Yeah. They all do. All those bands seem to be like really humble now. Just like whatever.
And they still, I saw them a couple years ago, they still sound killer live.
Really?
Yeah. Pour Some Sugar on Me has to be one of the most played bar strip club songs in the entire world.
Well, that's how it became popular. Did you know that? Because of strip clubs.
Strip clubs?
Uh-huh. It wasn't, they released the record, released a couple songs that did okay, but they spent obviously millions on the record. And then strip clubs in Florida started playing that, and it just,
And strip clubs in Florida, let's face it, are good.
Are they?
Usually.
Okay.
That's one of those hotbeds
It's like Vegas.
of attractive people. Vegas, Dallas, Los Angeles, Florida.
All those strip clubs still have a lunch shift.
Yeah, you don't want to go to that. I mean, the chicken wings might be good, but the staff is not good.
We had lunch at the library in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because they were an advertiser for the radio station, and we went to their lunch buffet, and it's like from that scene in The Office where Daryl tells Dwight not to go to the strip club. He's like, you can't, it's the day shift at a strip club, Dwight. You can't unsee that.
Yeah, all the pregnant girls.
Yeah.
Cesareans.
A lot of C-sections.
A lot of C-section scars. God, guys.
It is true.
You don't get this on the other drum podcasts. You just don't. So you did the whole thing, right? Did you do the all-region marching band, concert band, the whole?
Yeah, but I was from a small town, and we didn't even have a football team. So the marching band we had we did like 2 parades, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So, but then when I went to college, I did the 2 years of
that was
Eastern Illinois
University, and then your master's from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
Yes.
Who teaches there?
I went there mainly for drum set. Keith Brown.
Yeah, that's great. William Ellis. Went there.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
And then Michael Combs was the percussion guy. So I got an assistantship, so I would teach like legit classical percussion, but my main focus there was studied with Keith, and Donald Brown was there, the jazz pianist at the time. So I got a good dose of jazz stuff when I was there.
Yeah,
too. It's great.
He does it all. I mean, you could find him on a marimba. You could see he's playing timpani in the orchestra, and then he's playing jazz in his tuxedo. It's like covering all the bases, man. You know?
Right? Did you kind of see yourself coming to Nashville or anything?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to end up here, and that's kind of why I went to grad school in Knoxville. I auditioned at MTSU and UT in Knoxville as well. So, but I ended up going there, which I'm really glad I did. Right. But after that, I knew it would end up in Nashville.
Yeah, and then when I met you in 2000, you were involved with the Johnny Rap Drumstick Company.
Yes.
So,
Rhythm Saw.
Yeah, how did that all happen?
Man, it's kind of a long story, but it's I go back to when I was in college in Knoxville. I go back to this one moment to where if I wouldn't have done it, I feel like my whole life would be different. Like I probably wouldn't be here right now, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. So I was in I think it was a wind ensemble rehearsal or orchestra rehearsal, playing timpani. It's late in the afternoon, and they have a Tennessee Valley Fair, and they have acts come through there. Remember the Kinleys?
Yes.
They're great. So
Kurt dated one of the Kinleys. He dated Heather.
Really?
My buddy Kurt Allison. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were playing that night at the fair, and I was going to go, but I was in this rehearsal. It was like a long day. Wasn't feeling the greatest. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go. But I went, and George Lawrence was playing drums with them at the time.
Nice. That's right.
Yeah, and it was great. So after the show, I went up to him, said, hey, met him, and it's super nice. He's like, yeah, I teach out of Nashville, so if you ever want to come out. So I started taking lessons from him, like, every 6 weeks I drive over.
Yeah.
But he introduced me to Johnny Rabb.
Yeah.
So that's how I met Johnny. And when I was getting ready to move to town, he was like, man, we just need help around the office here in town. It doesn't pay much, but would you be interested? I was like, heck yeah. So 9 to 5, I would go help him around there, and then, go out at night and start networking and all that. But that's how I met like yourself and a lot of drummers around town was through that stick company.
Yeah, and you had the office above Drum Paradise, which is now the Drum Pad, where I teach all the time.
And before that, it was at Soundcheck.
That's right.
It was at Soundcheck, and then we moved to Drum Paradise, yeah.
And then our next guest who's coming in, John McTeague III, was one of your artists, and he developed these hybrid brushes called webs.
The webs, yep.
And they were brushy, but there's plastic.
Plastic, and there's like 3 layers. They're each a different length.
Yeah.
Work great.
I've got some somewhere.
I do too.
In a bag somewhere.
Yeah.
There's so many inventors in this space.
There really is. And it's really hard to get a music auxiliary product to be sticky.
Right.
Like Big Fat
Like
Snare Drum
literally
did
sticky.
it. Like Lug Locks did it.
Right. Yeah.
Drum Dial did it. But
Moon gels.
Moon gels are, it's like, I kind of stopped using moon gels. There's so many other products.
Yeah. What do you use now?
I mean, I like gaff. I like the drum taco. I like the big fat snare drums.
I have a Mr. Muff.
Yeah, Mr. Muff.
I don't know about the Mr. Muff.
It's you put like a big heavy washer in it or not to put weight on the snare drum, but typically it kind of clamps down and it's a big mustache.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
I've seen those. Yeah.
I got it at the Music City Drum Show coming up in July.
Which I guess we will have a booth at, right?
We're going to have a booth there.
So Jim will be there on the Saturday of the Music City Drum Show, and then I'll be there on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do at our booth? We're going to have merch. And maybe some of my books, and we'll hang out.
Just, kiss babies and smell roses and shake hands.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Where's Rich? He's not here. You get me, though. I produce the podcast, all right?
That's right.
I'm important.
Yeah, man. So I liked my Johnny because I was with Regal Tip before that, the 90s.
Yeah.
And then, I was with you guys.
I loved them too. And I hate they kind of went away, but yeah.
I told you about my idea, right?
And then Johnny went away. Johnny Rabb went away. He moved to, he's also
Indie.
He's Indies with Collective Soul.
Yeah. It's been a great gig for him.
Yeah, still a great dude, and we still keep in touch, and he's awesome.
He's one of those guys I saw advertised in because they did the rhythm saw. I guess it was Johnny Rabb drumsticks, and it was like the silhouette of the dude it looked like a skater.
Yeah, it was kind of a silhouette of him.
Right, and it was always like a quarter-page ad in Modern Drummer, which I can't imagine how much that cost.
Yeesh.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
It was one of those things that, I always knew his name. And then I was visiting my brother in Michigan, and they had a great music store there. And we would always go, and I'd always have, I'd play the electric drums because why not? And they had an educational video, like a DCI VHS video of Jim Keltner and Johnny Rabb, and Johnny was showing him the freehand technique.
Yeah.
I sat and watched that thing had to be 20 minutes. I was just mouth agape.
Yeah, I mean, very few people have that ability to express themselves rhythmically like that.
And he makes it look so effortless.
He really does.
Yeah.
He must have practiced a lot.
Yeah.
He and I went to lunch, and he's like, I need to do a triple stroke roll. I'm like, why?
You mean 3 in each hand? But yeah, if you do it, then after a while, you just start letting the sticks bounce, and it becomes a buzz roll.
Yeah. Like, let's just make it a, quadruple stroke roll.
As like an educator, one of the hardest things to teach is the machine gun double stroke roll, and have it be super DCI open and clean, right? Because I basically tell the kids, like, look, it's mama dada, and you want the second stroke to be just as articulate as the first stroke. You don't want to bounce it. You want them to be both as articulate as possible. And to do that, you just got to be with your metronome, and you get into the ducka ducka burr. But
I thought it was hugga ducka burr.
Hugga ducka burr, right?
I thought it was ding ding da ga ga.
Telling them about what the goal is, and then how to get it, and what happens in between is me telling them, it's just you're just going to spend time.
You got the muscle memory.
It takes a while to work it up towards all even.
Yeah,
not bouncing.
I think I really spent my youth doing that.
Right.
I thought it was your marching band years.
Well, definitely 4 years in high school, 4 years in college, and
did you march at UNT?
I did. I didn't at UNT. I did it at Texas Tech.
Okay.
And then in high school, so in both my high school and Texas Tech had 400 giant 400-piece marching bands.
Wow.
But they were both drum lines were match grip drum lines, which has worked out great for me. It was a fluke that they were both match grip drum lines because I only play match grip.
I didn't have that luck.
Yeah.
So I'd never, like I said, I didn't really march in high school. We didn't have a football team, so we just did a couple parades. When I went to college, I had to march 2 years. First year, I did bass drum. Second year, I did snare drum. Traditional grip, but I'm left-handed, so I typically lead with left hand, but I couldn't, obviously.
Yeah.
So, which, looking back, it really helped my right hand, but I had to learn how to play right hand lead.
But you play your drum set traditionally set up.
Yes, but I'm open-handed.
Open like Eddie.
Yeah.
Now, was that because
like
you
Carter.
saw... Yeah, Carter, he just sat down at a drum set and he never saw anybody play it that way.
It makes
the crossover.
Sense. The open-handed thing.
Right.
But no, I started completely backwards, like left-footed, like this.
Oh, you did that.
Gotcha. I did. And then when I went to college, my instructor my undergrad suggested I do the open-handed thing.
Yeah.
At the time, I wasn't thrilled about it, but looking back, it was the best thing.
Makes it a lot easier to sit in.
Yes. Sharing a kit.
Sharing a kit.
And I just like the approach of the open-handed more than the crossed.
Yeah.
Have you played open-handed much, Rich? You ever try?
There's that beautiful book that we all kind of work out in our youth called The New Breed by Gary Chester.
Yeah.
And the whole idea behind the book is to play the entire book leading with your left or leading with your right, so you can kind of get close to being ambidextrous. Right. But the only time I play open hand is when I want to sound incredibly sloppy and self-taught. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like handwriting with your left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want it to
This
look
left
like a
hand is
child's.
just really for just smashing gigantic backbeats.
Yeah.
It
works.
I have to do it when I play Don't Stop Believing.
That's how we did it.
That's the way it's done.
Oh, over here.
Yep. He does all the other patterns with his right hand.
Pretty brilliant drum part.
It's like it doesn't work without it.
It's very orchestral.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of colors.
A lot of colors.
Yeah.
A lot of bell the ride cymbal.
So everybody likes Steve Smith, but who are some of your guys?
Drumming guys?
Yeah.
Ooh. I like Picaro a lot.
Yeah.
So
So you bury the beater most of the time?
I don't.
You pull off even for rock.
Yeah. All the
Nice.
time I pull. Yeah. I like the sound of the bass
Sure.
drum better like that.
Yeah.
Do you?
I bury for rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I pull off for everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Gad, obviously, I'm a big fan of. Yeah.
Amazing.
Man, it's hard to.
You're a Yamaha guy, aren't you?
Yes.
Mickey Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, when was it? The end of 2019. We did a show in Okinawa. Me and a few others of the band flew to Tokyo just to take a few days off.
Yeah.
Gad was playing at the Blue Note in Tokyo.
Blue Note in Tokyo.
Yamaha guy. So we got the connection. I got to check out the Yamaha factory over there and go check out the show.
That'd be cool.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
I make no, I try not to hide it. I love Yamaha drums.
Yeah. That's what you played when
It's
you
just
first
standard.
met.
I know.
Yeah.
They're just so great. The recording customs.
Yep.
The ones that Courtney made me sell. I'm joking, babe. She hates it when I say that.
Did you have Yamaha drums that you sold?
I did. I had a set of Stage Customs,
Yeah.
but with a 20-inch kick. But they did sound very good.
Yeah.
But I looked, gargantuan behind them
Yeah.
because they're so tiny.
Yeah, the 20-inch. It's been a while since I played a 20-inch kick.
Yeah. What are you, 24?
24, yeah.
I need a 26. Right?
I'm still a 22 guy.
22.
Huh. And you played a 22 with Kellie and Aaron and
Yeah.
Easton?
Yep. And then I had, with Kellie and Easton, I had a little 18 out to the side, little remote kick too.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Mhm.
For loops.
Yeah.
So instead of loops being on tracks, you would actually
Play them. Yeah. So
But-
do that in a little side snare.
But then they go away when you come in on the chorus. That's the only problem with that approach, right?
yes, but,
But that
Like-
could be good.
right. Well, with Easton, I control the track. So I would put the loop back in during the chorus. So that still stayed there, but I would play it when it wasn't there.
That is cool. Yeah, because we have a lot of loops on with me just hanging out on the first verse.
Yeah. I don't like doing that.
And so I have all sorts of roll-in products that I could emulate and perform the loop live, but it's just so much easier just to have everything going out front on Pro
Sure.
Tools. So that's why I incorporate so much percussion.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll pick up shakers and be like, bop, bop, bam, bop, bop, bip, bop, bop, and then throw them behind me, splack them, and I'm in. Because it's showbiz, right?
Right.
It's
You,
like,
you throw them?
huh?
You just throw them behind you?
I
Leave
mean,
it up to Johnny to catch them?
Nah, I don't really do that, but sounds
You,
better.
you throw it on the ground like the video?
Sounds better.
I took my shaker and I threw it on the ground.
Spata. Well, look at all these other folks that you've played with, man. You subbed for Lady A, Craig Campbell, Shadazy, Josh Turner, Ty Herndon, Trent Willman, Katrina L. These are names that bringing memories back. Josh
It's been a
Thompson,
while, yeah.
Brian McComas. This is like late 90s, early aughts.
No, it was
artists.
as in the aughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've been in some house bands. You're backing up folks like Steve Cropper, Legend, Darius Rucker, Big and Rich, Kip Moore. Got any favorites or interesting stories from all these brushes with celebrities?
I will say, so this past year, a lot of those were from a after party on this after the CMA Awards, right?
Yeah.
So this last year, Elle King was on it, and
Rob Schneider's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was kind of added last minute, and so we got this stuff maybe a day or two before the tune she was doing, and we didn't have much info or anything, but she came in and it was awesome. She was great. She was a lot of fun, sang great, and it was just, I don't know, I had a great time doing it. I mean, I always have fun doing it, but she really kind of impressed me because I've heard stories of, she had a drink or two, but
New Year's Eve.
yeah, but she was pregnant, expecting, so she was sober, and it was awesome.
I think,
speaking of Vegas strip clubs,
I think in the 70s, pregnant women smoke and drank.
I know.
And we still somehow turned out okay.
We're fine.
Yeah.
No post-nasal drip. Speaking of Vegas strip clubs, as we were talking about earlier, Courtney actually saved Rob Schneider at the Spearmint Rhino from a falling plate platter of shrimp.
Wow. So Courtney's his wife.
Yes, Courtney's my wife.
Okay.
And that is a story that pretty cool to tell.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell it?
He kind of looked up at her because he was, blasted out of his mind. And she saw what was happening. She saw the waitress, I guess, tripping over something and falling, and everything was in slow motion. Rob was like walking in front of her, and she just instinctively grabbed his arm and moved him out of the way. And right where he was standing, all the shrimp fell.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. And he just kind of like looked up, like in that Rob Schneider fashion, just went, thanks. And Courtney was like, you're welcome.
Oh my God. Do you guys ever see that movie, The Wrong Missy on Netflix?
Yes.
God, he is
I've not seen
fantastic. Do yourself a favor. I have seen this thing probably 20 times. It never fails to amuse me. It's Rob Schneider, David Spade, this girl, and Lauren Lapkus, who's been support in so many comedies, but this is, she's like co-lead, and she steals the show.
She is so, she plays a character that is just monumentally like douche chill annoying, like cringeworthy, embarrassed. You feel embarrassed.
Is this a movie or a show?
Yeah.
Movie?
Wrong
Okay.
Missy
Yeah.
on
The Wrong
Netflix.
Missy. Okay, I'll have to
Crank
check
it up tonight.
Yes.
All right.
You are welcome. Because that
What was the one that?
that's a good one, man.
Oh gosh, Jason Segel's in it, and he shows his everything.
Oh, is that the one where he's writing about Count Dracula? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
name
With
of
it,
that?
and it's with what's her name? She's gorgeous.
Kristen Bell.
Well, not Kristen. Well, she's in it.
And then the girl from the 70s show.
Right.
Her.
Yes.
Catherine.
I don't think Heigl's in it.
No.
She was in This Is 40 and Knocked Up. This is.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that '70s show. She's like exotic looking. She's gorgeous. She's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And she's also on The Simpsons.
Family Guy.
Family Guy. She plays
She
the
plays
daughter.
Meg.
Yeah, Meg, the daughter.
Oh.
I want to say Nia Vardalos, but that's not who it is.
No.
Let's look up Family Guy right now, guys. We got Seth MacFarlane.
Mila
Mila
Kunis.
Kunis. Yes.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yikes. Now that is a good movie too. She's like, Dracula musical.
That's right.
Play the Dracula musical.
I forgot about that. What the heck was the name of that movie?
Well, I mean,
but
sure.
he does a full frontal nude in that movie.
Dude, it's credible.
I know.
Jeez.
Does he? I don't remember that. I may have X'd
The
that out of
willingness to do
You can't not see it because it's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
that. Oh, really?
Oh gosh, it's massive.
Good for him.
Exactly.
Hey, take to the internet and find out what that movie
You
is.
want me to pull the picture up? Is that
No,
do you want to see it?
I want you to tell me what the name of the movie is.
Okay. Your wish is my command.
Yeah, man. So Aaron Tippin's the first big marquee gig.
Yeah.
And
That's a lot of fun.
you're backing this guy up. He's building bikes on stage.
He is.
And you're making your money. You got maybe somebody helping you set up stuff. You got 3 solid meals a day. You're on the bus. You're seeing these United States.
Yeah.
I mean,
great.
that had to feel good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I moved to Nashville to do.
So it took 3 years to find that job.
Yeah. So I was playing around town and doing that whole networking thing. And,
Did you do the Lower Broadway thing?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Still I am from time to time.
Will you go down there?
Yeah.
You can kind of curate the band or like guys that you like are like, hey,
yeah. Buddies I know. And yeah. I like playing with guys I know and
What are the rooms that are still kind of fun for you to play? Because there's the corporate bars that have like rolling kits and stuff.
I haven't done those.
Yeah.
But like Legends, I like AJ's, which used to be the Wheel. Yeah.
I like Legends.
Yeah.
That was some of my first playing in town.
Was it?
Yeah, in the window.
Yeah.
Right, with
Still
all the
there,
all
yeah,
the
the
passersby.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, fantastic.
That's it,
How can forgetting Sarah Marshall? I'm forgetting everything,
It's been happening to me a lot.
dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Have you been noticing
On you or me?
on you?
Yes.
I've been really bad with names, Rick.
Oh God, Steve,
Yeah.
it's horrible, Steve.
What was the, like, when you first got here, you came here in 2000.
Yeah.
What was like, was it overwhelming, or were you prepared for it, or what did I do? Oh my gosh, I made the wrong decision. I don't know what I got myself into. Was any of that crossing your mind?
That's a good question. No. I do remember, though, at one time, like I was working a day job with Johnny Ram. I go out at night, start getting gigs, and the pay back then was like next to nothing.
Right.
So, I was making
not
like
much has changed.
no, $7 an hour, at the stick company, and then playing at night for 20 some bucks.
Yeah.
At the end of the week, I'm like, I'm losing money.
Yeah.
I've got a master's degree, and here I'm not even making enough money to,
Yeah.
So that I remember feeling that. I was like, holy cow, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But I just kept pushing forward.
Yeah.
How long did it take till you felt like, okay, I'm onto something here?
Well, when I got the gig with Aaron, it took a while. I felt like it took a while because I would just be doing a
3
bunch.
years is a long time to
Yeah.
be suffering.
Yeah, it is. But just in playing and feel like I'm going in circles. But looking back, I'm glad I did that because I made a bunch of connections, and even to this day, still keep in touch with guys I met from back then. So I feel like, if a gig would end, I would still have something, as opposed to just jumping into something right away when I moved to town. I wouldn't have gone through all that,
Yeah.
So I'm glad I had to kind
Of course, yeah.
go through all
Yeah, the
that.
dues paying is fantastic. I remember, in 1997, my first year in town, just kind of like having some like really sad nights with a spoon and some Haagen-Dazs, going like, dude, I was like one of the top drummers in Dallas, and I can't get arrested here.
Yeah.
I'm not making any money. I got to work these day jobs. I was a substitute teacher. I parked the cars. I waited tables.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys consciously avoid doing like construction?
I
For
did
the
light
hands?
construction.
You did not. Did you do it though?
I did it for this company called Manpower. It was kind of like a staffing agency.
Right.
And like one of the jobs I did, I had to do a remodel on the Talbots in Green Hills. It's
wow.
across from the Bluebird.
Okay. Yeah.
So, they were ripping up carpet and stuff. And, I was mostly, they kind of took a look at me and they're like, let him sweep and go get lunch, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I wasn't like lifting heavy things.
They didn't give you a sledgehammer to let you go to it and do demo.
No.
Really?
No.
So cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did one job for this staffing agency where we had to take documents, a gigantic 18-foot trailer of dust-laden ancient documents, and we had to unload them to burn them. And talk about my allergies going
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
All the dust from these documents, 40-year-old documents that were being burned. Not
It's
good.
crazy, man.
no.
Yeah.
Not fun.
No, there's people that this is their life. They do this kind of work
Yeah.
every day in and out.
Yeah. But looking back, like I was just thankful the whole Johnny Rab thing came up, and
Because you were in the industry, you were meeting people.
yeah, it was a great networking tool for me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very thankful.
And please tell me you got some like discount drumsticks.
I did.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. It was actually, they made the sticks in Toon, Tennessee, which is south of Jackson. So we'd go there once a
Tennessee
week.
hickory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all chopped down there and made there, which that doesn't happen with other stick companies. They bring the wood in from other places. And
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like ProMark gets its wood from Tennessee.
Good chance. Yes.
Is
I'm
it?
not positive, but
Strong
yeah,
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every
Crazy.
time they kill a tree, they plant a tree,
Replant. Yeah.
which is nice.
Well, they have to. It's their inventory. Or at least the raw materials.
Yes.
You know?
Do you have to do that?
I mean, well, it makes
I
sense.
mean,
You'd want to do
you
that.
should,
Yeah.
I guess.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's
Because I
legally
would
you
have,
to, don't
I have
know.
an idea for a stick company because we need another stick company.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say it here. Should I?
Well,
I have the domain. We've talked about it before.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you better not mention that because somebody will steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not do
So
that.
now you're leaving me hanging.
We'll tell you.
We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk off camera.
Maybe he'll invest.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you're doing Tippin,
Yeah.
and then
Well, you're playing with them.
you get the.
Yes.
You go over to Kellie. Now, are these like overlapping things, or did some of the guys in the band go with you, or how did the begat thing happen?
So I was playing with Aaron and loving it.
Yeah,
Right. I don't know. He did 60, 70 shows a year, and
manageable.
yeah,
He seems like a good guy.
yeah, he is. And then a buddy of mine, Dale, got hired as the MD for Kellie to put the band together for Kellie. This is right after she did American Idol.
Yeah,
So he wanted to know if I would want to do it. And at the time, I was like, I don't know, because
She's untested.
right, and she had 4 gigs. Is that all she had? But it's all like TV shows.
Yeah.
So I was like, at the very least, because with Aaron, we really didn't do any TV. So I was like, at the very least, I get that experience, and then it may end, or it may not. So I don't know. So I took the leap, and then
you got 11 years out of it.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
amazing.
that's really sad about Kyle Jacobs, man.
Yeah,
So it was her. Were they still married at the time?
yeah,
He committed suicide.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Very strange, because I would run into him all the time. Like we were,
Super good dude.
part of the community.
Nice
I'd run
guy.
into him at the Tin Roof, or I'd see him at Writers' Nights.
Yeah,
Was
songwriter,
he
producer.
was dating her or married to her?
They're married.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And was he, what was he in the band or? I'm
No,
sorry.
He was just like a songwriter.
Yeah, songwriter, producer, but he would come on the road quite a bit and
wow.
hang out. And, yeah, really good dude. But yeah, it really shocked me when I heard all that too. Yeah,
Were they still married at the time? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
really sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you go from Aaron Tippin, you were with him for several years. So
Yeah,
from
about
02 to
3.5 years.
03.
Yeah,
And then, I know we're going back here, but I mean, a lot of the, was that kind of like the first gig of like, Pinch Me, I Can't Believe it's a formidable country name.
right.
know.
And for me, yes, and I grew up listening to country music, and my parents had radio on all the time, so I was familiar with a lot of his stuff. So to get to play those live was a lot of fun.
I bet. Was that the first instance of like, wow,
Yeah, like I can do this.
starstruck in a way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Like, and it was just kind of, because at the time, I had never done anything like that. Like, can I do this? Like, I feel like I can, but you've been able to do it. And, just the first experience was really good. And he's a great dude.
Yes.
He's a good band, a great band leader. And so it was just a really good first gig for me,
Yeah.
So you also, during all of this time, you're teaching percussion as a adjunct professor at TSU
Yeah.
for 15 years. You had me in, thank you, to do a drum clinic, and then now you're over at Lipscomb, and it sounds like that's an amazing program.
Yeah. And Lipscomb is really growing. They just added a performance degree, whereas before they just had they have a commercial program, but either singer-songwriter or production major. So with them adding the performance degree, it opens the door up to more.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, how many serious kids you got over there?
This semester I've got 11 students, and we started a percussion ensemble as well.
Nice.
Which has been good. So yeah, I really enjoy it. But that, prior to this past fall, I would have, 4 or 5 students. So it wasn't as busy. And then in the fall, I was there 2.5 days a week, and then leave that night to go out with Easton and then be gone and then come back. And it was just kind of nonstop, which was great. But, and that's why I kind of took a step back from the road for the time being.
So Easton, you were there a good 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It was good too. I enjoyed
It's
it.
got to be cool to be like a professor at a university. It's like very like, it's like you're David Duchovny or something. And you know what I mean? You pull up and you got your elbow patches, and it's just cool. And then,
Do you wear elbow patches?
I don't have any. I need to step up my game, I guess.
Do you have a monocle?
I don't.
You twist your, what do you call it? Timey the railroad tracks mustache?
yeah, like a,
Oh yeah.
is there like a faculty cafeteria or anything? Or do you go and it's like not like on the TV shows,
No,
like
it's nothing like
where everyone's like cutting up and,
no.
Is it like Community?
Like what?
The TV show Community?
I've never seen it.
Really?
That's what I'm thinking. Like Chevy Chase,
Yeah.
you know.
Very laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Really good. The faculty there are great. And actually, the head of the music program now, I went to college with when I was getting my master's at UT.
Oh,
She's there. Yeah.
relationships in action. And Rob is there. Rob Bias.
Rob Bias, yeah.
Yeah. So he had me come in and kind of tell the kids the cold, hard
Ensemble.
truth.
Yeah.
What is the cold, hard truth?
Yeah, you know, you must be present to win. You got to treat it like a full-time job. You got to have a firm handshake. You got to, all the stuff, you know?
So you can't just do it the way I want to do it?
How do you want to do it?
Just, whenever I feel like it.
You could try.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, at the heart of it, Jim
And how's
is,
that working out for
he's
you?
a drummer. I mean, he is like, he does a million other things, but I mean, he's just like a great natural drummer.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to see your show in May.
Oh, no pressure. I think you're like, I don't know, the sixth drummer that we've had on that we've told about this. It's like, I'm going to have like all these really good
gonna be
seasoned people.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to get, they make great pizzas there. They got a nice selection of wine. Just like, it's going to be great.
Really.
Let's make a night of it.
It's a winery.
Yeah.
I've never been there. So you get in with Kellie Pickler,
Mm-hmm.
and her first hit was what, Red High Heels?
Yeah. Very good.
And that was her, I remember that music video.
Right.
Because, I mean, she was a looker, man. She was, man,
Yeah.
she's hot. And she came from good roots. She came from North Carolina.
Va-va-voom.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, 11 years with her, I would imagine that she's just as down to earth as,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. Good. She always had our backs, and
right.
it was fun to work for. We got to do a lot of cool stuff travel wise, and different TV shows and USO stuff overseas, and yeah, a lot of cool experiences with her. And
She
was
had
great.
like a full-time morning show hosting gig for a while
She
too.
did.
Yeah, on XM. Yeah.
But it was a TV show as well.
Yeah. She
right?
did that, and that's kind of when
It was like Kelly and
Yeah.
Kelly and Ben.
Kelly and Ben.
right.
Yeah. So she was doing that, and that's kind of when the Easton thing popped up. So I was like, we were getting slower and slower each year. She did a couple of Hallmark Christmas movies. And
Right.
So she was kind of going that direction, which is great, but it left, fewer and fewer shows each year. So the Easton thing popped up, and that's kind of when I
Yeah.
moved forward.
Now,
with that.
speaking of her getting into acting, you were sort of an actor on the television show Nashville. You were
played-
the drummer for Juliet Barnes' Hayden Panettiere's
yeah.
character.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I played a drummer.
Did you? Was that?
Go figure.
How did you guys get paid? Was it a SAG thing, or was it non-union and
It's
you get
through
made
the
a day
union.
rate kind of a
It's
thing?
through the union.
It was through the AFM.
Yeah, AFM. Yep. And it was great. It was a really neat experience just to do it. And they were pretty adamant on making sure you're playing the right parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Was there like a consultant, musical consultant that was like, "You're not crashing the crashes when you're supposed to"?
No, not
That was,
like that. But
but it was like a the TV heads and the TV symbols, right?
yeah, they're real thick. So you got to like lay into them to make it look like
Yeah.
you're hitting them.
Like Star Search. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, but sometimes you wouldn't get the music because they were recording the music pretty much as the show was being taped. So sometimes you wouldn't get the music till like the day before. And it was just a rough mix. So you kind of, yeah.
Scribble out a chart.
Yeah.
Did Nashville songwriters write all the tracks for that show?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure.
I mean, you could make the case. I think it sounded like it,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was funny when that show first came on. I was still working at Jack FM, and instantly, I was like, why? Some of the more unrealistic elements of the show were like, hey, I'm having a bad day. Let's go down to Tootsie's and get a drink. I'm like, no. Nobody that lives here, especially if they're an A-list star, let's just go down to Tootsie's and that doesn't happen.
But it made for a good
Hey,
story.
meet me up on the pedestrian bridge for a little. No, it doesn't. No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to sing on the Opry stage, and she just happens to walk up to the stage, and there's a spotlight right there. I'm just going to bask in the glow of the
I
spotlight.
mean, it is a television show. But
Oh, dude.
it's like
but be realistic about it, for crying out loud.
stretching reality.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, stretching it like beyond
But people
repair.
were ravenous. They loved the show.
Yeah.
You had a couple years out of that, huh?
I did. I did the first season and then maybe 1 or 2 episodes of season 2.
Did you get to hang out with Connie?
Not really. She was in a couple of scenes I did, but yeah. It's more with
gorgeous,
the
too.
Hayden character and Chip Eston,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't realize at the time. Whose line is it anyway? You remember that show?
Yeah.
He was on that.
He was
Charles Eston?
Yeah.
He was also in The Office.
The Office. Yeah.
Mhm. He played a couple of episodes in season 3 of The Office.
And then he ended up on that television show with all the kids, and there's like pirates, and they're in the Carolinas, and they're chasing each other. It's like a
Outer Banks.
he's great in Outer Banks.
Okay, I didn't see
Yeah.
that either.
He turned out to be, I guess, the bad guy.
He was the bad guy.
That's right.
I will say he was one too because he played guitar in a couple of the scenes. He was wanting to get the part down, so he would ask the guitar player that was hired, like, "Hey, am I doing this right?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he's a musician as well.
he is. Yeah. But he was wanting to actually look like he was playing it, where some probably
Yeah.
wouldn't really care. But no,
Michael Knox, Jason's producer, got called to produce a couple of tracks for each of some of these stars on that television show. And of course, he calls us up and he's like, are you guys, of course we want to do it. But right now we're playing a county fair somewhere in the middle of America, so I couldn't do it. But, there was no flexibility on the date. It's like, these things happen, right? When you're on the road,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You can phone it in.
Now, hey, you went, did some USO gigs.
Yeah,
I love those. I been to about 19 countries. You see some interesting things, and you definitely feel the love because they love you being there,
exactly.
entertaining them.
Yeah.
Kuwait, Afghanistan, Turkey, Italy, Spain, England. Let me guess. The best food was in Italy.
You're probably right.
Italy or Spain.
Italy.
I mean,
was really
England
good.
is,
Well, so for some of those, like Kuwait and Afghanistan, we were on a base, so we were eating cafeteria food.
Yeah.
But the Italy, Spain, we were doing a chairman's tour, which was like we flew over on Air Force 2, and it was pretty nice. Yeah.
Yes.
So there we got to experience more of the, food outside of the base.
Yes.
Don't they source the food from local, or is it shipped over as well?
That's a great question.
I should have an answer. I
Those
don't know
guys,
I don't know.
I mean, those guys eat pretty well because an army runs on its stomach.
Yeah.
So they do feed soldiers pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chow hall.
Yeah. And then you'd be working out, and we were in, I went to like Dubai and Macedonia and Croatia, and you're like in the middle of some desert in a tent, and there's like this makeshift gym, and you're on the stairs, master. And
was it chrome gym equipment like from the 80s?
that was relatively
No.
Yeah, relatively. And then we landed like on one of those things on the aircraft carrier, and then
Did you? Yeah.
the line it catches you.
I haven't been able to do that.
And then we worked out in the bowels. The gym was in the bowels of the ship, and you're like,
You were on an aircraft carrier?
yeah, the USS Kennedy.
Really?
We
Nice.
dined with the captain and everything.
Wow.
So you actually landed on an aircraft? How do I not know this?
Oh man, we did all that stuff with Rushlow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We made very little money, but we had great experiences. You know what I mean?
It's like, saving people from shrimp at a Vegas strip club. It's exactly like
Right?
that.
Dude, unbelievable. So, Greg, I gotta say, if you are comfortable talking about it, you got a 12-year anniversary coming up here in a week, this Sunday.
Here in a few days. Yeah.
So, to me, this seemed like it was a thing that was probably very life-changing for you.
Yeah. Very. Yes.
And just the way you frame your life and see life. And don't you even have a clinic now that's kind of wrapped around some of these concepts?
Yeah. So it's, So anyway, I was in a wreck, driving back to Nashville, and got rear-ended by a semi-truck going about 50, they estimate. Yeah.
He was going 50, how fast? And you were...
Well, I was either stopped or moving slow because there was a bad wreck on the other side of the interstate, like fiery wreck. And then
What were you driving?
a pickup truck, which
Oh, okay.
it was about that size, but then the bed just kind of,
Yeah. Big old crumple zone.
which that's what it's kind of designed to do, which is
Right.
great.
Was anybody in front of you?
Yes. So I hit the car in front of them, and then I think they hit the car in front, but I don't remember anything.
Wow.
Yeah. So my truck was pretty mangled,
Oh,
but yeah. So that happened, and I was up in the up in Louisville for about 3 weeks. Hospital for 2 weeks, and then a rehab hospital next door for another week. and then went back to Nashville and did a bunch of rehab stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of rehabbing.
Yeah.
That had to be very trying, like on your patience and emotionally difficult because you're learning how to do everything again.
Yeah. So I lost all my strength. Like I couldn't, like when I remember bits and pieces of the stuff when I was in hospital. I remember walking with the walker because I couldn't just stand up on my own, really. Just lost all the strength. Yeah. So, but it just, and that just slowly, got back to it and the rehab and, physical therapy and all that. But I had a TBI as well, a traumatic brain injury. So my memory, like I remember in the rehab hospital, I'd have breakfast and then by the end of the day, I couldn't tell you what I had for breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. But so it took a while for the memory to get back. Earlier you mentioned that.
Yeah, because I was like, how do you improve your memory? How does that happen?
Fish oil pills.
Yeah. But no, there's a couple apps you can do. I forget the name of it, but I did that where they, like not games, but they'll give you,
little challenges.
Challenges.
Brain challenges.
Yeah. But thankfully it got better. But it's still like to this day, I feel like it's not as good as it used to be. But I can still function and, but yeah, so it did that, broke my neck. And that was, that and the brain injury were the main two biggest issues.
So it wasn't obviously you're still able to move. You're not a quadriplegic or anything like that.
I broke C2, which is when somebody hangs themselves. That's what goes.
They could sever the spine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm super lucky to still be here and then not be paralyzed,
So it's one of those things. I mean, even though we brought it up earlier with Rick Allen, similar situation. All of a sudden, everything, it's 12 years ago, so that would be 2013. You've got some time in, you got some success. There's a height of a career happening, and then it's like I got a lot of things going, and then this happens.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god,
to be terrifying,
right?
Like,
what am I going to do now?
What happens if I can't play my? Because we wrap our whole life and our definition of ourselves around this.
Sure, and two with the brain injury, I didn't know. I know I could rebuild the strength, and it took a while, but I didn't know if it would still feel the same. You know, because I may have come back and just it felt different or not. Sounded real stiff or But thankfully, I was able to.
You put on that kind of blue record and just spang a lang it, man.
What did you sit? Do you remember what you sat down to play the first time?
I remember just at a practice, because I had a neck brace on for like 3 months. So I just remember sitting at a practice pad, just taking it slow, and then sitting behind a kit and just, slowly working up grooves. And a lot of it was strength.
What kept you going every day? I mean, because it's easy in the short term of going day to day, it's easy to be like, you got to have the will, you got to dig deep, I would imagine.
Yeah, a lot of it was music. Because I wanted to get back on the road. I wanted to get back to doing it because that was my motivation to get back on the road. And Kellie at the time was great, and she said, "Take as long as you need. Your job will be here whenever you're ready to come back."
Sweet.
Yeah,
which meant a lot,
Yeah.
So I would imagine a salary was involved at that point, or
no, it was a show pay thing.
Per show.
Yeah, but she was super nice, and like when my family from Illinois, but they'd drive over. And she took care of hotel rooms for him to stay. And
so sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the drumming community did a benefit, which Rich was at.
Yeah.
So, and all that helped, Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely, I don't recommend doing it.
No.
I mean, what happened to the semi driver? Is he like,
what was the accident? What caused the accident?
Was he?
I think he was just distracted from the fiery wreck. I'm assuming, I really don't know. I've never talked to him.
So there was a wreck already on the road.
Yeah.
On the other side.
On the other side.
And, he was rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Really?
And so I think that's why I was either going very slow or stop because all the traffic was kind of slowing down.
Did you do the, get a PI attorney involved at all or personal injury? Or
yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
Just to, because I had to be life flighted and.
My God.
Yeah. So, but I was getting bills in the mail from that company.
Yeah.
Because insurance doesn't cover. I had health insurance, but it only covered up to $5,000 for transportation.
Right.
And it was like $25,000 for that.
Life flight.
Yeah, and I don't even remember it.
So they're sending you bills. At least you're like, hey, can I make payments on this?
Yeah.
Right. So, but anyway, to answer your question, yes, I had to get an attorney involved to.
Jeez.
He kind of handled all that for me, but I had to make a payment just to kind of shut them up.
Yeah.
But then everything got worked out between the trucking company and everything. You know.
Did you at least come out ahead?
If you want to call it ahead.
Well, I mean, you know,
yes,
financially.
Yeah. So, I mean, more than likely, I'll need another surgery down the line because the fusion, they did fusion C2 to C3, and it puts pressure like C3 to C4.
Right.
So chances are down the line, I'll need another one. So, yeah.
My God.
And you got to count on that financial.
Yeah. So
nest
I just,
egg too.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I just put it all away and act like I don't have it. And hopefully I don't need it for that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Interesting. That's really smart.
But the craziest thing, though, mentioning the other wreck, so there was already an ambulance or more than one ambulance on that going to that scene, but while they were en route, they got diverted to mine. So they were only, 2 to 3 minutes from me when my accident happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Almost a godsend.
They got diverted though because the people in the other wreck didn't make it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How far? So life flight from where to where?
I was, I think maybe 40-some miles south of Louisville. And there was a local, is in Hardin County, a local community hospital there. So they took me there, but then life flighted me from that hospital up to Louisville.
Okay.
They had a trauma center up there.
40 miles, $25,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not cheap.
Dude, medical stuff is insane.
We're in the
It
wrong
is.
business.
Yeah.
I got a little arthritis in my neck. It's a beautiful gift from my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
So I went to physical therapy today. I'm trying to figure out ways to
Sure. Yeah.
move forward and not, because
You do the whole
all that
neck
stuff.
cracking.
Yeah, and the foam roller, different things you do with the foam roller, and then some bands, and you put the bands in the door, and
What do they talk? They encourage any chiropractic in that kind of situation?
no, chiropractic it's like a dark art. It's like you either like it or you don't, kind of a thing, or you believe in it or you don't. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
It's always worked out for me in the past. So I just got to do it on a regular basis.
I've never tried. And I'm very scared now with my neck to get any kind of, it's going to take kind of.
What were some of the challenge? What were noticeable losses, if any, when you finally sat back down at the drums at a gig or maybe in rehearsal or anything like that? Where
movement, because I was at a neck brace for 3 months, so when I got it taken off, I would still
like a phantom.
Yeah. So it took quite a while just to get the movement back. So kind of a funny story. Jay, a bass player, one of my best friends. I got back on the road. I probably came back sooner than I should have. But so my movement was still kind of limited, very limited. Mm-hmm. So we were playing this venue, and then it had like a balcony around us. And he's like, dude, look up that, check out this chick, right?
Yeah.
So
You had to do the Batman mask move.
but it's like this 5-year-old little girl, and he's just did to mess with me. But I had to do that whole thing, and I turned back around, and he was just laughing.
Which Jay is this? Jay Weaver?
Jay Gorman.
Jay Gorman.
Yeah, so he was with Kellie the whole time, and then actually played with Easton for a couple years. But we were in a band together shortly after I moved to Nashville.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a very long time.
But no, he's great. But no, yeah, it was kind of funny. So I guess getting back, just the mobility and movement. And it took a while, just, strength-wise, playing a full show to get back to where I felt really, really comfortable again,
Are you kind of a dancer when it comes to playing? You say you dance in the seat?
I'm not.
No?
I'm pretty.
Greg
You're Neil. Just serious.
Yeah.
He lays it down,
serious,
takes care of
but
business, yeah.
I don't have a lot of extra movement or motion, I guess, but.
Right.
You're not doing the ridiculous things that I'm doing. You're making the ridiculous faces.
No, I should. Maybe I should.
Yeah. It's painful.
Well, you do kind of rub off, I find myself dancing a lot more when I play.
Well, whatever you got to do to get that feeling you want in your body.
Movement's important.
Yeah.
But mine's not really too exaggerated, but yeah.
You're not limited. You can work out.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I still, my neck will stiffen up really, really quick.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel like I'm pretty good.
Killer.
Okay.
Good for you, man.
Massages?
Very thankful. No.
Massages? No.
He doesn't want anybody near his neck.
Nowhere, nothing.
Don't even look at it.
Yeah, don't touch
Well,
it.
we are
Don't
so
actually, don't
we are
even look
so
at it.
happy that you're.
But no, but the Nashville community was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I lived by myself, so my family came afterwards. And they stayed with me at the house for a while, but I couldn't drive for months, So I'd have rides to and from physical therapy and at Vanderbilt. And then they did the benefits. So the support, kind of going back to your initial question, like with the clinic stuff, I make that a part of it,
Yeah.
How you treat people and, build, my old band director.
He has a book, right?
Yeah. Things You Wish You Knew Yesterday. It's great.
Oh, man.
But so growing up, I had the same band director from 5th grade through high school. So because it's such a small community, but looking back, and he's the reason I pursued music, really.
Hey, he's got to be very proud of you.
Yeah. Well, he's passed away, but yeah. No, he had pancreatic cancer, but yeah. But no, he's awesome. He wrote the book, but he's the one. He calls it personal capital, to where if you act, like a decent person, treat people with respect, show up on time, you gain this kind of personal capital like you would with money in a bank.
Yeah.
And then, you have a good relationship with people. And so when you need it, like after my accident, I feel like I had a good, without really realizing what I was doing.
Yeah.
So they did that benefit, and just, it meant a lot to me.
That's amazing.
So were you aware of your own personal capital at that point?
No.
Really?
And then, so it was after that to where it kind of hit me. It's like, wow. Because I always, I don't try to be an idiot or
Right.
You're
just doing what comes naturally and common sense to you.
Yeah. So I didn't think about it or realize it. And then he came out with that book after it was a few years after the accident. And then I read it. I was like, wow, this is all stuff I learned. I feel like he's my Mr. Miyagi, where he's teaching me stuff where I didn't realize at the time. Yeah. Wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Did it kind of strike a nerve?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Get you weepy?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But no, it's
doesn't take much to get me weepy these days.
No.
I weep at the weirdest things.
You get verklempt very easily these days.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks,
But hey,
Mom.
you're just more in touch with your feelings.
Yeah.
But I feel like that side of things is just as important as the drumming. I mean, the drumming is obviously got to be important, but the other side is just as important.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
the drumming gives us purpose, and it allows us to affect people in this lifetime. But it's not everything.
No. And that's why I like the teaching so much, because I like to take the approach my old band director did, and it's not just about, a rudiment. It's more about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But drumming is a way to, hopefully get to them.
It's a people business.
And
And if you even go to the Music City Drum Show, check those guys out in July. You can kind of get a sense of the community easily.
Yeah.
It's just a really, even, Courtney, my wife, was there with me last year, and she noticed it. And she has every reason to not want to be there. She was helping me out, and it's just a cacophony in that building the entire weekend. And she kind of enjoyed it. I said, that's the greatest thing about it, is that you're going to see, your Greg Bissonets walking through and mingling with people and just being cool, on down to people that just want to network and, dare I say network, or what do you guys call it?
It's such a dirty word.
I know. But what's it called then?
Kibitzing, mingling, crashing parties.
Knitworking, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. But I feel like
Working the
just
net.
the drumming community in Nashville is very open and hospitable and
Accommodating.
yeah, exactly.
And it's not like, I guess you're going to get guys. Does it exist on the surface where, hey man, I'm really happy, I'm so championing you, and I love the fact you got that gig, but internally they're going, son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, I think it's a politely competitive city.
Yeah.
Politely competitive. Interesting.
Politely competitive.
You've thought about this before.
Yeah, I mean, because I've been in the other music cities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you lived in LA for How was it there?
It's
Was
nice, but it's just it's more spread out, and
Seem more cutthroat?
it does seem a little less friendly.
Yeah. You see, I came out of Danbury, Connecticut, which was an hour and 10 minutes out of New York City. I never really went down to New York and attempted to compete on that level. But in Danbury, I was like one of the guys,
Yeah.
awesome. To play.
My physical therapist from Shelton, Connecticut.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, where are you from?" I was like, "Connecticut." He's like, "I never meet people from Connecticut." Wow.
But that's the funny thing is I don't think you're like, to Greg's point about personal capital, I'm not sure if you're really aware of yours, Rich, because you have mentioned before in some,
Well, if I die, I
which
hope
you will at
people-
some point.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just who knows when.
Right.
I hope people show up to the funeral.
I have no doubt. No doubt. Your funeral is going to be huge.
Well, hopefully it'll be a big party.
I would like, you have to take audits of these things and you wonder that, man, I hope I have that kind of personal capital with people because I'm pretty sure I can be a dick sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we all can. But
Yeah.
Jim,
Yeah.
well, the thing
I'm not
about
the easiest to deal with.
you, I have never noticed that. I mean, what you have boundaries. You know how to put up boundaries, and you're not just a people pleaser.
Layover.
No,
Yeah.
I can be a people pleaser.
But you do it. I remember you once telling me, it was when we made the documentary, and you said that, and it always stuck with me, that I will remember everybody's name because it's music to their ears.
I try.
You try.
Yeah.
You make an attempt and trying to use their name, which is something that rubbed off on me because if there's somebody who's wearing a name tag, I'll use their name.
Yeah.
And it earns you, favor.
People
in a way.
just love it. It's
Not
like
that
the
you're-
most beautiful melody
Yeah.
to their ears. It's music. People love their name and they love to talk about themselves.
But you were never opposed to, like, you said something that was so, I don't want to say profound, but it had a lot of weight to it because
you never say anything profound, Rich.
No way.
I'm going to remember the receptionist, the second engineer, the first engineer, the janitor. He says, because everybody in that studio wants to move up. And
Yeah.
at some point in life, I want them to remember that I treated them well.
That's
And
great.
if the intern forgets your ketchup on your French fries, for God forbid, do not light them up because they're just doing the best they can.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is not worth ruining a potential
Yeah.
lifelong relationship over ketchup because I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
You talked
We both
about,
have. We both have.
Well, you never know where that intern's going to end up.
right.
You may be working for him someday,
Yeah. In 5
and
years.
And people don't think about that.
No.
They really don't.
It's
But
really weird.
like the personal capital thing, it just all adds up. It wouldn't, and hopefully you don't need to use it.
as
you
your
know?
as your reputation precedes you, because it does. Our reputation totally precedes us, and we can ruin it in 1 second.
Yeah.
Takes 20 years to develop it.
And 2 seconds to get rid of it.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. I'm not sure how true that is.
What do you think? You're saying you.
It depends on the severity of what you did to ruin it.
I mean, you can have a bad day. Yeah, everybody's got a bad day, but if you,
No.
if you're dumping on people on a regular basis,
Yeah.
not good.
No, it's not good.
but Greg didn't do that.
No.
He's
No,
got,
but I feel like
tons of
I
personal
used
capital.
I used all of it up because everybody was so helpful. So I feel like I want to do more to help others now,
Yeah,
Just kind
Paid
of,
forward.
yeah.
No.
we're in kind of like a give back chapter of
Yeah.
our lives, which is great.
It is.
It really is.
Maybe you need to start a nonprofit.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
About what?
I don't know, like, a fund of sorts, maybe that just there's people contribute to, and whenever somebody has a situation like yours.
Yeah, I did look into that actually, and there's always already some set up, and it's got to be different enough to make it.
Like a music cares type
Yeah,
thing?
exactly. Yeah. There's some set up through the union, some through the Opry. There's different organizations that do that. But it's to set up like a 501c3, it's got to be different enough to make it
Yeah.
make sense.
Right. And you got to have a board.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to have something music education related, because as we both know, it's disappearing in the schools.
Yeah.
And you and I owe much of our mindset, our skill set, our direction in life from music education.
Exactly. Definitely.
Yeah.
It was very important for me because growing up in a small town, I didn't have that. Like a lot of guys will have that through high school, like a lot of music opportunities, abilities, and
Yeah.
I didn't have really anything. So when I went to college, that was my holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eye opening.
But I think that's just baked into your DNA. And I've just met you today, and I can always tell you're just a chill dude, and you're going to conduct your common sense as opposed to somebody else's common sense. I think there's a flaw. Well, it's common sense. No, it's not. It's subjective.
Sure, sure.
What is common sense to you to another person is vastly different. So
Right.
you coming in and, you Rich had talked about in the documentary as well, Working the Dream. Check it out. On YouTube.
Jim, you're such a promosexual.
You had mentioned how you've got into situations and have been vibed by people.
Sure.
And it's akin to, like, I go back to the car business where you have a salesperson, because I was in the car business, and there's a cycle that happens in that business, and probably others as well, that you enter. It's a place you can make a lot of money overnight. It is truly like an overnight success type of thing. If you just hustle and grind and get in front of people, you can make a good living.
Sure.
But most of those guys in that role are kind of corralled by managers who haze you. There's a hazing element to it in probably 95% of dealerships around the country. But these guys that enter, well, they're going to be there for a job or see it as a career. The guys for a job, they last for maybe a couple months. And that's probably the reason why the managers treat them as such. But the guys that do stand out, the guys and girls, they go up the ranks. And then, well, hey, when I get to that position, I get to treat them the way I was treated.
Right, yeah.
Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to break the cycle.
Yeah, it's like the
Sure.
fraternity sorority thing. I mean,
Right.
like I was in Phi Mu Alpha.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a professional music organization.
Yeah.
And you have to, when you're a pledge, you have to do all these crazy things.
Yeah, hazing.
Oh, totally got hazed, buddy.
But I think ultimately with the people who are vibing that your experience that you had, not naming names, that happened to them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's always like,
They chose not
who's
to
the
break
new
the cycle.
kid on the session?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Somebody's always going to be the new
Sure.
kid. We were the new kid, and we proved our worth, and we kept showing up, and then we became the old kid. And now there's going to be some new kid on the session, and I'm going to go right up to that kid and be like, hey, man, what's your name? Where are you from? So glad you're here. Let's have some fun today. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Have you ever had to get really like tough on somebody when they're not pulling their weight or?
Oh, when I was like teaching drum lines and, in college,
College,
my
yeah.
last year of college. Well, I was the drum line guy in my high school, right? So
Okay.
I had to, come on, guys, you're late. You guys are dirty. Come on, I told you didn't learn. And then in college, I did the 3 years on the snare drum, and then the last year I wrote all the book.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And
wow.
then I had got to wear the university crest jacket,
Wow.
and I just bossed everybody around. So I had to show up and be like, "Get in line, guys! All right, let's cut it off. 1, 2." You gotta be tough.
But you were the leader that they would take a bullet for.
I don't know if
You wouldn't get killed in friendly fire.
who knows.
Yeah.
At that time, I might have been a little bit more of a jerk.
Don't make me get the hammer out. I'm gonna smash some hands.
Hey, Yamaha snare drums.
Yeah.
Anton Fig.
You get to get some of those. Like if you'd be like, "Hey, can I get one of those Anton Fig ones with the wood hoops, or can I get a Steve Gadd commemorative?" Blah 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 blah. Because you're
Well, they don't make them anymore, though.
because they're not just laying around somewhere.
And I wish I'd known those were going away when they went away. Otherwise, I would have gotten some of those.
Because you could get, that's a good snare drum, that Anton Fig snare drum with the wood hoops. The Paul Lime
I do
drum's
have a
really
Paul,
good.
I did get a Paul Lime 5.5 by 14.
The Akira Jimbo, the Steve Jordan,
They had a bunch of good ones.
Roy Haynes.
Roy Haynes, yeah.
You can find all those drums, but you're going to pay a lot of money.
an arm and a leg for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
They're just not laying around at Yamaha, and you can just walk around and be like, "Hey, you gonna use that?"
No, I wish.
But what's your go-to now? Are you a metal snare guy or a wood snare guy?
Metal for the most part.
Me too.
Yeah.
Got so many metal snares.
Yeah.
Because you can get wood tones out of a metal snare drum.
Yeah. I've got my go-to, like I use quite a bit, is a 6.5 by 14 aluminum Yamaha. One of the new recording custom aluminum
Which is
ones.
kind of like a acrylite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Versatile.
I have a brass over copper. No, not copper.
Brass.
Copper over brass? Is that
Chrome over brass.
Chrome over.
Yeah.
What's the Black Beauty?
Chrome over brass.
Yeah.
Chrome over brass, but it's a DW.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's their
I'm
version.
sorry.
Oh wow!
I thought we were talking Yamaha.
Hey, you've been with the Zildjian a long time too, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, well, I've played them my whole life,
Yeah.
but I was with them. It took a while to actually get on the roster,
Yes.
but I just kept playing them, and finally it happened. I was at a PASIC, and Sarah at the time was the artist relations
That's right. Yeah.
lady, and she's like, "Well, let's just make this official."
Bam.
And we had
Wow.
I was with Kellie, and we had a show in Indy during that time at Butler University, and then when they're performing arts center or whatever, and so she came out to the show, and it was,
Nice.
it's really cool.
Yeah, those are good relationships, man.
Yeah.
I gotta wonder what the true cost it is to make a cymbal. I've always wondered that. What's
Yeah,
the
well,
I
market?
got to go check out the factory like
In
2 years
Boston,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
I bet.
Yeah.
Is it a lot smaller than you realize?
No,
Really?
it was like, I didn't really know what to expect, but it's pretty good size.
From a business standpoint, it makes you want to kind of wonder how they began in the Middle East, I guess, in Turkey, because they're what, 600 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Something
like one of
like
the
that.
oldest companies in
Yeah.
US. Yeah.
And but did they start out making cymbals? What was their, I'm going to start a business. Well, what's it going to be? We're going to make flatware. And then all of a sudden it's, metal plates. Well, hey, I want to use this metal plate on this.
It's interesting. I'm sure there's some books floating around. Yeah.
I probably should know more history.
Some
than
coffee
I do,
table
but I don't.
books. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is great. And two, I mean, and that's, if I crack one, they'll melt it down and reuse the.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Interesting.
It's totally nice, man. Well,
that's great.
that's great stuff. Hey, let's do the fave 5. What's your favorite color, man?
Probably blue.
Wow.
Blue or green.
We've gotten so many blues.
Out of the,
Yeah.
like the 7
The
primary
last
colors are.
7 or 8 guests have said blue. Amazing.
We probably need to come up with new questions.
Okay. How about this favorite food or dish?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I like a bunch of different foods. You mentioned burritos earlier. I'm a big burrito fan.
Yeah, me too.
Baja Burrito here in Nashville is one of my favorite places.
It's
You
just-
been there?
Baja burrito? Oh, yeah.
Berry
Do you
Hill?
mean right in Berry Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's a staple.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's been quite some time.
It's like they got the trifecta of really good restaurants in that little area. They got Sam and Zoe's,
Yeah.
Baja, and Calypso.
And it works out great for all the session players in Berry Hill, and they go there and
Well, and then when the Johnny Rab office was right there, Baja was
Paradise.
there, Calypso was there. Yeah.
Yep.
oh yeah, Calypso has been affordably feeding somewhat healthy food to musicians for 30 years.
It's pretty dang healthy.
Pretty dang healthy.
Yeah.
That chicken is
It's
good.
really good.
But I like the island burger. I always go in and I'm like,
I've never
you got
had
any
that.
island burgers left? And they're like, one left. I'm like,
And it's the same people that have been there.
what makes it an island burger? Is it meatless?
it's actually just a hamburger, but it's, they got the island vibe in there. So they just call it the island burger.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
just a burger.
Just a burger.
Okay.
It's really lean meat.
Super
Okay.
lean. It's almost bisonish.
Yeah.
And they put a nice big hunk of a purple onion on there.
Okay.
Yep.
Love
So
the onion.
if you guys are coming to town in Nashville, make sure you visit one of those 3 places. You're not going to be let down.
Yeah, we should do a roll call one time and find out who's really listening to the show. Who are our listeners? Are you hobbyists? Are you professionals? How old are you?
Comment below.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should do that. What's your favorite drink?
Of the moment.
Oh.
Going through a phase?
Actually, it's probably not the healthiest drink, but like Diet Mountain Dew is my go-to.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey, throw some vodka in there too. It's excellent.
It's Tito, yes.
Tito's and Diet
Diet-
Mountain Dew.
Yes.
It's like glows in the dark.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that, buddy.
So now I'm thirsty.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is really tough. Jim, favorite song or favorite song of the moment?
Ooh. How about song? A song.
It could be because the track is from your favorite drummer, or it could be on your favorite movie score.
Okay. Probably something off of Sting 10 Summoner's Tales.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my favorite records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But as far as current though, actually the students at Lipscomb, are you familiar with the band Lawrence?
No.
Check them out. It's a brother-sister duo. It's a horn band.
Lawrence.
Yeah. They're awesome.
Yeah.
But their new record, their song called Hip Replacement. It's an homage to What Is Hip.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You check them out.
So it's in this kind of like you could in that
you
spirit.
hear their song, you'll think What Is Hip, right? And that's
Yeah. Does it have the and kind of like figures like that?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
You know,
Oh
bass.
yeah.
Yeah, check them out. And I've seen them live a few times. They're amazing live.
They're not local here, are they?
They're out of New York City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
NYC.
But they put up on their website, they put up their stems to their songs.
What?
Yeah. So you
Why?
can go solo up the drum part. You can mute it, play along to it.
Oh, wow.
And there's like little yellow dots, and you can click on them, and it tells you this was a combination of programmed and live drums. This is what we used to get this bass sound.
It's like pop-up video.
It is. It's super cool.
Wow.
Check them out.
That's a very interesting thing to put out there into the world.
It is. But they kind of created that platform.
Yeah.
They came up with it.
Wow. Kind of like what's that app?
Moises.
Moises.
That's an amazing. I use that for teaching all the time.
Yeah, I bet. Because you
great.
could solo things up, add clicks,
Slow it down.
speed it up.
Speed it up.
I mean,
Transpose.
that's nuts.
It's amazing.
That's really nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about your favorite movie? The Wrong Missy.
Of the moment.
Yeah.
I would say My Cousin Vinny.
Oh my God. Yeah, you blend.
That's good.
Two Utes.
You
You too.
blend.
Yeah, you blend.
She was so great in that.
So-
That was actually on just not too long ago, and I watched part of it, and it's still so
It
good.
still holds up, man.
does.
It really does.
She is so cute. Oh,
She was great in that movie. She's
And
such a great
Marissa,
actress.
she won an award for that too.
Yeah.
I think like when she says because this and this and this.
Yeah.
Great.
That's great. Joe Pesci.
Totally great.
Yeah.
Hey Jim, don't you usually have a question?
I'm going to switch it up.
Uh-oh.
And it's kind of in line with what we've been talking about with Rick Allen and your experience. I'm going to put it out there. What body part would you not mind losing?
Wow.
I did not sanction this.
No. I want my arms and legs for sure.
Of course. Yeah.
I want my ears. I like to be able to see too.
It's like you got to go maybe teeth or something, right? If you had to lose one.
Well, just one tooth. I could
Just
do
one
that.
tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
back
body
like
part.
a back molar or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know? Or
Maybe,
like,
maybe a toe or something. Or
Maybe a pinky. Would that throw off
Yeah.
your balance if you're missing a toe?
depends on what toe.
yeah.
I think you need all of them.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think a pinky would a small toe,
yeah,
maybe a nipple.
Yeah.
nipple. We don't need them.
I mean, I got 3, so who cares?
You too.
I would say a tooth. You can rip
Tooth.
a tooth out.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I gotta
Jim,
do
that's
that.
great, buddy.
You like it?
Yeah, coming up with new stuff.
Here's another good one.
All right.
What would you name your boat if you had one?
Oh, nice.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Usually, boat names have a
They got to be punny.
dad jokey,
Right, exactly, yeah,
punny
yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah,
um,
like Dexter, slice of life.
Actually, I just started getting into Dexter. I'm
Really?
late. It's so good.
It's such a great
I'm
show.
late to the game on that one, but
That's
yeah,
okay.
It's really
But
good.
you're in for a good time.
tie
Yeah.
the knot.
Naughty hooker.
Yeah, not
That's a good one. Naughty hooker. Yeah.
not now.
Like it's
with a knot.
like it's a fishing boat. Naughty hooker.
Yeah.
I made. That's what she said. I'm a big Office fan. You watch The Office?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
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 That's a big takeaway.
Yeah.
Good.
T-shirts everywhere. World's best boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the most uncomfortable in that series? In your opinion, what's the most like you want to watch it, but you're like, oh, this is
I mean,
So
Michael's an idiot.
he's awesome.
brilliant.
He is brilliant.
yeah,
So the dinner party episode.
right.
At first, I was like, that's how I was, but now I love it. It's
It's
very
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but it's
you know
great
when
though.
they put that out, NBC didn't want to like they had such second thoughts about putting it out because the spousal abuse aspect of it was so tactile that they just did not want to like they were really worried about it.
Yeah.
But it was one of their biggest episodes.
Yeah, and I think it was right around where the writer's strike too, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Whether I think they filmed it maybe right after they came back or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was I want to say season 4.
yeah.
Yeah, season 4. But that was the other for me it's Scott's Tots.
Oh yeah, yeah. that probably wins it.
Dude,
It's
so cringe.
bad.
I don't know if I've seen every episode. Obviously, if it's on in a hotel room or something, I'll check it out. But it's not like I can say like King of Queens. I have seen every episode 10, 15 times. Friends, every episode 20 times. Easy.
Yeah, I'm like that with The Office.
Yeah.
It's like visiting old friends.
It is,
right?
And it's still funny.
It's
It
still
doesn't
very
get
funny.
old.
They cast it. It's like the Marvel franchise that was, the Infinity Saga. Perfectly cast. They had a really good culture on set, and you could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
worked.
watching the behind the scenes, like the deleted scenes, they're all laughing and
They still hang out with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I just
Lifelong
think it was
friends.
just filmed somewhere in some little soundstage in North Hollywood, and they tried their best to like hide the palm trees.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Well, it's when they do the roof shots, and it's supposed to be in Scranton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see the mountains in the background, and but Scranton is mountainous.
I have been to Scranton.
Yeah, so have I.
Not my favorite. But sorry, Pennsylvanians. Greg, I am so happy that you are here with us, and you are making a massive difference, and I'm so happy for you, and I'm super proud of you, man.
I appreciate that. It's an honor to be a part of the show. And
Oh, man, I hope you had a good time.
I did. Yeah,
Do you listen to it?
I do.
You're the one.
Well, I think, isn't there one other one?
We need to do a roll call. We definitely need to do a roll call and find out who really our listeners are. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, it's great.
Well, let us
I like
know.
it. But it's more of like a talk show than a
Inside the actor studio kind of a thing. Yeah,
which I like.
That's
It's
great.
conversational.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, these were a bunch of guys just hanging out, and I'm shooting
We've tried to do that thing. I always wanted, the whole reason to do it is just really to shine a light on my friends. You know what I mean? Because you guys all have so many great stories. And
Well, you've had amazing guests over the years too, which is cool to
thanks,
check
partner.
out. Yeah.
Who's your favorite one?
Well, you did Bill with Huey.
Yeah.
Listen to that one. Yeah.
Bill Gibson.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, nice cat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
70 years old, taking drum lessons.
it's amazing.
Yeah, right?
Just goes to show you.
Enjoying his walks to the mailbox to collect his royalty checks.
Yeah. I did get to see them live one time. I drove to Tunica. They're playing, and this was before because they don't play anymore because of
Huey's,
Hearing loss. Yeah.
But I drove there and then drove back that night. And I got to meet, through a friend of mine, got to meet Bill and Huey and just say thanks, for the inspiration growing up. And
Yeah.
And you can be like, hey, we're fellow Yamaha artists,
Right.
I got to see him at the Skirmerhorn, which was very nice because the
did you really?
acoustics are so great.
Oh, yeah. Were they
Did you see
playing with the
With the
orchestra?
horns and everything.
Did they
Not
play?
with the orchestra, just
Oh,
with their horn
with the-
section.
okay, yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was probably like 2017.
Because I remember you took like a picture with Bill in the back staircase, or
Yeah.
you had met him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Was a Tower of Power played a lot
Yeah.
on records and
He saved
even
them.
lifetimes. Yeah.
Like apparently they were ready to disband, or they were just trying to find another gig, and he appreciated their work so much that he added them to his band, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
It's great.
Great body of work.
Yep.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And that was the first record you were intrigued by.
Sports.
Small World.
Sports, yeah.
It's another
GregLoman.com.
good song. Small
It is
World.
Small World, yeah.
2 G's on Greg. GREGGLOH. Man. GregLoman.com. And you're on the Insta for the kids,
Yeah,
right?
Instagram and Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do a whole lot of posting, which I probably should do more, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, if reach out.
I get tired of it, First thing in the morning, get that coffee. I know I got to knock it out.
Yeah. It's always something.
It's crazy. Jim, did you have fun, bud?
Yeah, it was fun.
I like your new questions.
Thank you.
I love it.
Just pulled them out of my keister.
I love it. Hey, to all the listeners, we appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review. And we will be here next time. We appreciate you listening. Thanks so much, Greg.
Thank you, Rich. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Awesome.
This has been The Rich Redmond Show. Subscribe, rate, and follow along at richredmond.com/podcasts.